Welcome back to Tran Wins Baldur's Gate 3. I had promised to challenge myself by fighting the boss with 4 party members rather than 10, so here's what we've got. This is a normal party. This team right here that's gonna move forward. This is normal is probably not the right word. This is within the confines of a 4-player limit party.
Best be on my way.
I've summoned 1 undead, 1 minor elemental, and 1 major elemental for each character. Tran has summoned us and the dog. It says he's got 2 ice mephits, or however you say that. For the level 4 conjure minor elemental, you can pick between Azure, ice mephits, or mud mephits. If you pick the ice, you get 2 of them. If you pick the mud, you get 2 of those. But if you pick the Azure, which is the little fire dude, you get 1. You can count that each person should have 1 major, 1 minor, and 1 undead. And then there's Tran's 2 extra pets. They all have aid cast on them, giving an additional 20 hit points. And this is the team that we'll be using to do this battle, this top 4. The rest of them, they're just going to sit back and hide outside of battle. Just to show you that, yes, we can go ahead and utilize a team of 4 to defeat the boss.
No longer a background murmur. The presence in your mind builds to a roar.
We've found it. The Absolute is behind this door.
Enter.
You said it was under control.
It isn't you I answer to, Gortash.
Motherfucker! Gortash!
Oh, the general voice. Is this where we salute?
Salute, yes. With cleavers through his blood-starved flesh. How it crawls with failure. Like flies on lick-wet carrion.
You forget yourself, Orin. I have played my part.
You've built an army for our masters, true enough. But what of the astral prison? A rogue true soul flaunting it under your nose all this time, and you ran from him.
Sure that they would follow and deliver it into my hands here. If you would cease these distractions.
The distractions have been yours, Ketheric. Perhaps we never should have dug your daughter up. So you haven't lost your edge. But you're still not as sharp as Orin, I wager. The Slayer against the Undying One. That'd be fun to see.
His crypt breath sings to my sinews. Again. But he must lead the murder march to Baldur's grave.
If the weapon is truly in your grasp, Ketheric, might I suggest closing your fist? Orin and I can wait for you no longer. The plan proceeds. We're going to the city, and we expect you to follow. Army and the weapon in tow.
The Edict of Bane.
The Lash of Thorm!
The Testament of Myrkul!
An elder brain. One of the cruelest and most powerful creatures in existence. Enslaved by mere mortals.
Look at that crown. It radiates with power unlike anything I've ever seen. To have it. To hold. Oh, if only I could. But I can't. This is it. I must do as Mystra commands.
Gale,
You cannot do this. You can't condemn us to death.
What choice do I have? More than just a goddess counts on my courage. Whole worlds hang in the balance.
Stand down. This isn't your decision to make.
To end it? To struggle on? It is a grave choice you're making for us both. But if it must be so... very well. I'll stand down to stand by you.
There we are. It wouldn't do to fight in front of our guest. Behold, Duke Ravengard, the Absolute.
Whom preserve us?
You wag your word flap in vain, Alderling. Once the worm holds the whip, your shredded flesh will serve us.
Shit, no! Father!
Now, it's really time we were going. We will empty this place and begin the march. You may catch up with the army once you've retrieved the weapon. And Ketheric, do try not to sulk. You're supposed to be the fearsome general come to conquer the city. And I am the hero who will save it.
It is time, faithful ones. March on Baldur's Gate. We go to prepare the way!
Go ahead and move this secondary team back a bit. First team goes forward. Because we removed his hammer in the previous area, he's actually just got a flail, just a regular flail, even though the cutscene shows a hammer. We need to free her before he is no longer invulnerable. By doing so, battle immediately begins, and we'll go ahead and just approach normally. That being said, talking him to death actually makes the battle harder, so we'll do it that way.
There you are, as predicted. What is it, I wonder, that draws one toward death like a moth to light? You could have run away, absconded with the prism. The one thing that could prevent me from fulfilling my destiny. But the lure of one's destiny is irresistible, isn't it? Perhaps you hope to learn your place in history before you are erased from it. A bright flash of clarity before the snuffing out.
Why is the prism so important to you?
The very fact of your being attests to its power. Despite your infection, you resisted the brain here in the heart of its domain. What good is an army of thralls if they do not obey their master? Let us speak plainly. My Lord Myrkul gave me the one thing I desired, the one thing no other god could grant me. My daughter's life returned. Her heart beating once more. For that, he asked that I serve as his chosen. Join Orin and Gortash to grow the cult of the Absolute, and then take control of it. He's never had a more devoted follower. I have fought great wars before, in the service of other gods and other powers, but for Myrkul, I would condemn all of Faerun to death. You are all that stands between me and my destiny, and you have brought the prism here. I will kill you now, and then I will raise you as my servant.
I was ready to show you mercy before. It's still not too late, Ketheric. You can still repent.
Repent? Would that even be possible? Perhaps. No. There is no repentance. No release. My debt can never be repaid. He is here. He is watching. He is listening. He is... You dare end one who belongs to me. I am the smile of the worm-cleansed skull. I am the regrets of those who remain, and the restlessness of those who are gone. I am the haunt of mausoleums, the god of graves and age, of dust and dusk. I am Myrkul, lord of bones, and you have slain my chosen. But it is no matter, for I am death, and I am not the end. I am a beginning.
Oh. Oh dear.
So long as Nightsong's in that cage, Ketheric will keep getting back up.
The reason why it's more difficult is now you're facing the stage 2 boss while he has all his minions. He's more powerful in this form rather than when he was in his human form. We do need to free her, so we'll send Jaheira. Initiate dash. Actually, I should have had her drink a haste potion. This is fine though. She can drink the haste potion next turn. Now, the problem with Dame Aelin is this dude right here, he will continue to dominate her, and then she will continually hurt you. Oh, come on. You got... Fine, whatever. I'm going to move... I don't want you guys involved in any way. So hopefully the enemy will not be distracted and approach them or something.
Gone with the weave. I will be but an illusion.
You're take care of. We have these two left. Okay. As for Jaheira, we'll just put you down here by these intellect devourers. I don't think they'll do any damage, but there's not much else you can do. You can't jump up to the mind flayer or anything. We have a group of 4 over here. Let's see what we can do. So drink this. Oh, and you can disarm him, but the scythe, or however you say it, does just fall straight down there, and I don't know. The game does not want you to have it. Let's just put it that way. We do have 5 scrolls of disintegrate. Let's see how much damage we can actually do with this. 65% chance to hit him. That's not that great. What about if we were to attack him regularly? Okay, well, let's go ahead and do that. Okay, he's already down 80 hit points. For Tran, we're going to initiate reactions, turn on all of these. I'm not sure if Executioner and Lucky Strike, or Luck of the Far Realms, will initiate on the same attack. Hopefully it'll initiate one after the other, one on a main hand, one on an offhand. next, oh, Karlak, unfortunately, her turn is not available yet. I'm going to have her throw in the rune powder barrel if she gets a turn. %? That's weak.
Well, so much for peace.
I'm not really used to using elementals. If we do a regular fly, dude. Okay, I was checking these other options. They don't use bonus actions or anything else, so we'll just warp. Good hustle there. Trying to get him out of the way so other people can approach. Alright, it's Karlak's move. I'm not sure if this will blow up or what, but let's just chuck it at him. And see what happens. Okay, that didn't do anything. It just landed. That's okay. We have a fire elemental right here. Tell Myrkul to send a stronger immortal next time.
Impossible. Death cannot take me. I am its master. My lord, hear me. Nothing. I am forsaken. You have no idea what you've done. Isabel.
The villain is dead! The rest! Together, we have crushed him! Brain and body! Now, we pick our way toward our fates, unleashed.
You have my sword, my fealty. Do what you must. Then we fly this foul place.
Asterion is the one in dialogue because Tran was knocked off the platform because of the keg.
The chosen of Myrkul is dead. Permanently this time.
Ketheric's Netherstone. It's in his armor. Take it.
In death, the body is cooling, but energy radiates from the stone.
Remarkable. Truly. And now the picture comes together. The Absolute is neither god nor man. It is the Elder Brain you saw. held here by those three against its will. The crown it wears controls it, and these stones control the crown. It has been dominated. To master an elder brain, to subdue it. Our enemies are formidable.
How is it you're able to leave the Astral Prism now?
A temporary reprieve, but a welcome one. With a brain on its way to the city, its influence here is weakened.
What are these stones?
The crown's markings suggest it was forged in Netheril, an ancient empire whose mastery over magic rivaled that of the gods. It is a crown of domination. The stones were taken from its crest. They are Netherstones, imbued with the ability to control the wearer of the crown. The crown's Netherese magic must be the true source of the parasite's abilities. This must be what elevates their potential. And it must be the reason nobody could heal you. If the crown can do this to the parasite, I dare not imagine what it is doing to the brain.
Ketheric transformed during the fight. What was that?
I believe you fought and defeated an avatar of Myrkul, the god of necromancy. A remarkable feat. Ketheric was Myrkul's chosen. I know Lord Enver Gortash, an arms dealer and a slaver. He is a worshipper of Bane, the god of tyranny. The other is a mystery to me, but the way she spoke, it is most likely she follows Baal, god of murder. Which means the Absolute is a front for the gods of death, and our enemies are chosen of the Dead Three.
Chosen of the Dead Three.
Bane, Baal, and Myrkul. The Tyrant, the Assassin, and the Necromancer. They are known to pick from their most devout followers a chosen, granting them incredible powers. Each one alone would be a formidable enemy. But working together and controlling an elder brain, I dare not imagine what they might achieve.
What hope do we have if the gods themselves are involved?
Hope is a luxury for those who have a choice. This is the battle of our lives, and the lives of everyone in Faerun. The army of the Absolute is marching on Baldur's Gate. Within the city, an elder brain, brimming with power, ready to turn everyone within its reach into mind flayers. All it needs is an order. An order the Death Gods chosen are on the cusp of giving. We must wrest control of the brain from the chosen before that happens. We must take their stones. Our chances of success are slim, but we must not fail. If we fail, everything ends. I will be your shield, but you must be the sword. And when the chance comes to strike, you must take it, for there may only be one chance.
We also have the crumpled note as Aelin leaves the area. Papa, I love you. Love from Iz, as in Isabel. Ketheric drops the shield, +1 bonus to spell save DC, and shield bash, just a regular shield. And Reaper's Embrace, this is the thing that kept him from being thrown off the top of Moonrise Towers. When activated, you can't be moved against your will by any spell or action, but have disadvantage on dexterity saving throws. Also Howl of the Dead, let out a bone-chilling howl that numbs all nearby creatures, and numb halves movement speed. And just a regular Flail of Myrkul. Alright, and there's some stuff over here. I'm gonna have to stop for a little bit, but we'll pick this right back up in the same episode. Let me make a save once we get over here. Alright, let's take a look at this table. We have Invitation Lord Gortash. I'll let you pause if you want to read this one. I don't think it's that important. Grand Design. Dictated to Scribe Yanthus by Enver Gortash. And all this time I thought Gortash was some sort of orc, because the name's Gore, so it makes you think a very visceral, physical being. But it looks like a kind of a roguish aristocrat. The grand design is the Mind Flayer's species-wide ambition to return to the days of their conquering greatness. Of course, this is delusional madness, megalomania on a cosmic scale, and I know just how to turn it to our purposes. We're going to help the Mind Flayers enact their grand design, but only in a way that suits us. Wow, you guys are stupid. Okay. The Illithid shall have their crusade to enslave, but they will in turn be our slaves, and we shall determine the how, when, and where of the great Illithid outbreak. To be precise, I, Gortash, will determine these things, as commanding the grand design is clearly a Benite task. Actually, I don't know if the Illithid as a whole race is stronger than a god, so I don't actually know. I would assume not necessarily, considering we just defeated the avatar of Myrkul. Also, I don't know why Withers still supports us. I thought he was a disciple or acolyte, a priest of Myrkul. Underneath this book concerning the cult of the Absolute and the dangers it presents is scrawled the response to this text. This hastily written journal is admittedly well-intentioned. Its author is clearly fizzing with fear of the Absolute. The problem is that they conflate the rise of the cult with other things like the heat death of the universe, the resurrection of one-eyed Vecna the Lich, the proliferation of necromantic excess, and even the withering of some imported fruits from Schult. This person needs a glass of water and a lie down. Of course, and then you have the invasion plans for the Sword Coast that's all over the world. An amulet of the Absolute has no magical ability, but we'll just tuck this into Shadowheart's quest bag just in case. Let's head on out. I was thinking about unsummoning all of the units. Guess I could do that and then I would edit that out. Sure, let's do that. I'll edit that out, summoning all the units.
You saw Gortash, didn't you? What the fuck was he doing down there? Is all of this because of him? The tadpole, the Absolute. How?
It seems he's a servant of Bane, as Ketheric served Myrkul. Who knows what powers he's gained since you knew him?
I'd never have protected a Baneite even a decade ago. I looked after that fucker with my life. I trusted him. He gave me away to Zariel without a second thought. And now he's looking to ruin the entire Sword Coast. He has to die. And I'm gonna be the one who kills him.
Careful, Karlach. You're burning up.
You bet your ass I am. And I won't stop till that fucker is dead.
The cult's army is on the march.
Gods be damned. With that parasite in his brain, Father could wreak untold havoc in the Absolute's name. Should Baldur's Gate fall to the Absolute, every one of the coast cities will be ripe for the plucking. We're not just fighting for our cure, we're fighting for my father. We're fighting for the Gate. We're fighting for all of Faerun.
Get a hold of your ego. The Absolute has Duke Ravengard. Where will they take him?
Worm's Rock Fortress. All travelers to Baldur's Gate flow through it. It serves as headquarters for the Flaming Fist and their commander, my father. The Absolute's army's on the march. Gods forbid a tadpole Grand Duke throw open the gates for them.
What do you know about Gortash and Orin?
Orin? I'd never heard tell of, but Gortash I know. Or know of, more precisely. A self-styled strategic advisor to Baldur's Gate's peers. A bit player with dreams of a leading role, the way Father told it. He had no use for Gortash, and even less for his advice. I don't remember much beyond that. But where these chosen are concerned, I have a suspicion we're about to know more than we'd like.
Mizor said that you could finally say what led to your pact and exile. It's time we know the whole truth.
Yes, but first a question. If your home were under siege, what would you sacrifice to save it?
Nothing. I'm a half-orc. The place could burn to cinder for all I care.
I could never be so disloyal to Baldur's Gate. I was 17. Father, older Ravengard, had just been named a Grand Duke and was called away to Elturel to help settle a dispute. That's when the cult of the dragon made its move.
The cult of the dragon, a fractured religion. Some believers hold that undead dragons will inherit the world. Others worship the dragon goddess Tiamat, and intend to summon her to Faerun.
The Grand Duke left a mere boy in charge. That can't have gone well.
Not just a boy, a Raven Guard, schooled in the 4 pillars: courage, insight, strategy, justice. A 10-day after Father left, I heard a whisper as I slept. Duskhawk Hill. The Queen of Chaos awakens. Go alone. I grabbed a rapier and set out. There wasn't a cloud in the sky, yet not a single star was shining. There they were, gathered at the foot of the hill.
Your head tingles. Will wants to show you what happened.
You're a bard. Use your words, Will, and leave my mind alone.
I'll paint the clearest picture I can. Below the mount, I saw 5 totems with dragon heads carved on top. Each head held a massive orb in its jaws.
Orbs of dragon kind? Could it be? I thought only 3 were left.
Around each totem, 5 robed figures were chanting. First softly, then loud as a banshee's wail. There was a crack of thunder and a gust of wind. A storm descended, and one of Tiamat's 5 heads appeared from within it. That's when I felt Mazora's lips against my ear, and heard that same canny whisper.
She will destroy Baldur's Gate. Grant me your soul, and I will give you the power to save it.
She read the terms while 2 devils stood witness, and I said yes. 1 soul for 1 city.
You still sound full of yourself. Surely Mazora doesn't care about Baldur's Gate. This was all part of her plan. Why do you think she'd want to save it?
She didn't. She came on order of her mistress, Zariel.
She never stops, does she? Not for a second.
Tiamat made a play for power. Zariel had other plans. That was the most Mazora's ever said. All that mattered was that she got her prize. Another pet added to her warlock menagerie.
This means Zariel would have stopped Tiamat without you. You took on 25 cultists on your own, and I find that hard to believe.
I had Mazora at my side, and the archdevil Zariel guided our hands that day. I burned with the fires of Avernus, and oozed the rot of Dis. The cultists choked on our poisons and burned from our flames. And when we were done, all that remained were 5 grayed orbs atop a pile of ash. My soul was bound, and my lips were sealed.
Is that how you lost your eye, in the battle with the cult of the dragon?
It is. The one scar I ever bore of it. You were right, of course. The new eye is a sending stone, courtesy of Mazora. She uses it to track my location and call from a distance. I could flee to the spine of the world, or the depths of the lower dark, and still never shake her.
I respect your drive to fight and sacrifice. It was brave what you did for the city.
I don't know that it was brave. I just know that it was right.
And what about your father, the Grand Duke?
He returned to an unsuspecting city and a wayward son with a smirking devil at his side. I tried to tell him the truth, but my mouth couldn't form the words. I'd led him to the battlefield, but Mazora had swept it clean. I showed him my stone eye, but he only turned away. After, he said only one word: go. So I did.
We'll return to this subject later.
I understand.
You must have been furious at your father for throwing you out of the city.
No, never. He did the only thing he could. In his eyes, I invited a devil into our midst. I was a fool at best, a traitor at worst, and Grand Duke Ravengard suffers neither.
Well, you're no traitor, that's for sure. I suppose I can't blame him. For all he knew, you'd sprout horns any second.
And I went and proved him right. A Grand Duke's duty is to his city, first and foremost. There would only ever be one outcome.
was it like in there?
I can't help but feel like I've been fumbling in the dark for too long, and I've just had a lit torch thrust into my hands.
You seem in a good mood. I thought you might be more subdued after coming close to blowing up.
Indeed. Under other circumstances, I might have been subdued or ashamed, but after what we saw, I must admit, I'm excited. The crown! The one the Elder Brain was wearing. The one I very nearly destroyed. Netherese magic. So pure, so complete, that I didn't even recognize it at first. Most Netherese artifacts contain only the faintest amount of their former power, the ghost of an echo of a memory. That crown was different. I can't fathom how such a wonder survived. Surely everything of its ilk was destroyed along with Netheril itself, but no matter. It exists. I must learn more of it.
One time with the Netherese was not enough for you. You nearly killed yourself back there. Perhaps take a moment.
I know what nearly happened, and I'm sorry for putting you in that position. But I've stepped back from the precipice now. I've seen what may prove to be another way. A better way. That crown sits on a gargantuan elder brain bent on destroying us and everything we hold dear. Understanding its true nature might unlock the means of our victory. We need to learn more about what we saw. An artifact as powerful as that crown must have been documented somewhere. As luck would have it, we'll soon find ourselves near one of the finest book collections this side of Candlekeep, Sorcerous Sundries. I need to go there and learn all I can.
So you just want to go shopping?
Book shopping? But yes. Their collection of rare tomes is unparalleled. Netherese texts are hardly commonplace, but I'm certain they'll have one or two stashed away. You'll have to forgive my eagerness, but if my suspicions prove to hold water, this could be the answer to all our problems.
Somehow I doubt that, Gale.
Try me. I never saw myself as a banisher of shadows before. I was always more of a lurker-in, historically.
I wanted to ask about Cazador's ritual. You must still be thinking about it.
The thing that will decide my fate forevermore. Yes, it's been on my mind. Why?
All that power. You must be tempted to take it for yourself.
Well, of course I've thought about it. If I completed the ritual instead of Cazador, I'd get all that power. And I could walk in the sun without fear I'd turn into a mind flayer.
And the souls that need to be sacrificed.
I don't relish it, but my siblings lured thousands of people to their deaths over the years. I doubt Baldur's Gate would miss them. Of course, I don't even know if I could complete the ritual. It may be impossible, but it certainly is tempting.
We should not linger here. The cult's army is on the march.
The shadows are losing their grip on these lands. Shah can indeed be thwarted. Comforting to know.
The cult's army
Without
is
him,
on the march.
I wouldn't have lasted long.
Wish we could stay and see what this place will be like without the shadows. I bet it's beautiful. No rest for the wicked, huh?
Tell me more about your relationship with Gortash.
He got his claws into me early. I was a wild kid, brawling my way through the city. One of my mates got wind of a bit of work guarding some indoorsy type with lots of enemies. Seemed like easy money, so I went in for it. He took one look at me and said I was perfect. I liked that. Not like that, you know. Just... it felt like a good fit. I kept him safe, and he paid me well. Well enough to move my folks into a better neighborhood and put something away for the future. My future. I respected him, trusted him. – And he returned that trust, that respect.
His life was in my hands, and I took that seriously. The whole thing with Zariel happened so fast. I had no idea what had gone down until it was over. One minute I was in Baldur's Gate, a happy, healthy, not quite kid. The next, I was burning up in Avernus with an engine for a heart. Zariel laughed. Said she paid him well for my services. She'd wanted to test her new machine, and he said I'd be able to handle it. He was right. Sometimes I wish he weren't. Evil, evil bastard.
Just one sentence from him, and it's easy to tell his true nature. You were a fool.
The curse is broken and the shadows are lifting. In time, these lands will heal.
I had to look after him. Without him, I wouldn't have... Thaniel rests well. He's healing very rapidly, now that Oliver has returned to him.
What happened to Oliver exactly? Did Thaniel absorb him?
No more than my right hand can absorb my left. Oliver is helping Thaniel to recover. They both lie dormant, like trees awaiting spring. Once the curse is lifted, they can stand as one or as a pair. Whatever they wish. I hope they will remain as a pair. It will be good for them both to have a friend, once I'm gone. Still, I would like to return here someday. See Thaniel and Oliver again. In my meditations, or perhaps in person, if the Oak Father wills it. I hope he does.
So when will the curse actually be lifted?
I can't say for certain, but we'll see it come to pass long before this place recedes behind us. Don't worry. All is at hand. We can depart whenever you're ready.
I hope you've no more requests. I need to take care of my own problems.
No, my friend. The only thing I ask of you is to allow me by your side on the road ahead. I still owe you a debt, and I intend to pay.
What now? You've got what you wanted after all.
I have. But perhaps there is more that I want. Anyway, once the curse is lifted, nature can take its course without me. I belong at your side.
Glad to have you with us.
And I'm glad to be had. Glad to be with you, I mean.
Your mind wants you dead. How'd you survive it?
I would not linger in this land over long. But whatever your business, I will aid you if I can.
I will never tire of sitting on dead men's thrones.
Ketheric was a dead man long before we arrived, a servant of Myrkul, Lord of Bones.
Indeed. And now we know that he was not acting alone. During my time in the cult, I came to know one of his co-conspirators all too well. Baal's bloodletter. Orin. To think, I thought her to be speaking for the Absolute. I worshipped that woman.
First Myrkul, now Baal. I feel like we're in over our heads.
If the gods stand in our way, we will tear them down. Nothing will deny me my vengeance on Orin. She is the Iblis who indoctrinated me with the Absolute's lies.
There was another with Ketheric, Gortash. Do you know anything about him?
Only that he serves Bane, which could make him a petty lordling or a despot capable of bending the world to his will. That he has enslaved Illithids to fulfill his ambitions strongly suggests he is the latter. The Harper may know more. Her precious Baldur's Gate was the soil that nourished his growth.
You committed atrocities in the name of those lies.
And for that, I am sorry. I will commit all future atrocities for my own gain, and yours, should we stand together.
What do you remember of your indoctrination?
When I first visited Moonrise, I stood before the Absolute in awe. It was more of an idea than an entity. Pure love. Total power. Orin was by my side. She told me that God had chosen me to be a true soul. Blessed and adored. Now I know that those memories are lies. There was no God. Orin held me down in a cocoon of flesh, while a mind flayer forced a parasite into my brain. And she laughed at my fear. I will find her. I will murder her. And I will smile.
Is vengeance the limit of your ambitions?
There is no limit to my ambitions. I will enjoy killing Orin, but unlike her, I do not kill for pleasure alone. I kill to gain advantage. And we have the chance to seize the greatest advantage of all. Surely you see it. In killing Ketheric, we fractured the cult's leadership. When we break the other chosen and claim their Netherstones, we can take control.
A bold gamble. How can you be sure it's possible?
I would have thought this entire conspiracy of gods and monsters to be impossible if I had not seen it for myself. We may fail, but we must try. The power of the enslaved Elder Brain could reshape the world. We could reshape the world.
It's going to be glorious. I can hardly wait.
Patience. If we do not prepare, Baldur's Gate will be our tomb. But if we are wise, it will be our dominion. First, we take the Netherstones, then the brain, then the world. And then we will need no gods. We will be their equal. We will be absolute. We have a purpose and a bond. By my oath, I will fight with you, while that purpose holds. There is yet one thing about you that troubles me, though. Something I need you to explain. Why come to Moonrise, where the cult's power is strongest? Why not walk away?
Look at the bodies around you. I wanted more to kill.
That troubles me. Those who kill without motive cannot be trusted. I would not like to wake with your knife at my throat and never understand the reason why. Perhaps in time I can help direct your violence. Until then, I will watch my back. Now, I am ready to leave this damned place whenever you give the word. The city awaits.
She rejoins our party after the game kind of loads her in.
Watching out for me. Lot could have tossed me back in the shadows.
A curse lifted. The dead three allied once more. The balance shifts. There are depths to this alliance yet unplumbed. Consider, mortal. Do illithids possess souls?
I'm not sure. Don't all living things?
No. Nor canst thou count mind flayers among them. Yet, the three amass an illithid army void of apostolic souls that could imbue them with power.
A flock without souls, yet to what end, mortal? This is the question thou must come to answer. Until such time, be availed of my services.
Speak plainly. Isn't there more you can tell me?
No.
You seem to know a lot about the Dead Three.
Yes, Bane, Lord of Darkness, Baal, Lord of Murder, Myrkul, Lord of Bones. Once judged, ascended, then vanquished, as one, and as three. The alliance is reforged, mortal. The plains thus quake, and the gods shudder.
I am surprised to see you. Why are you here?
Where matters of balance are concerned, I am eternally cold.
When Duke Elton formed the Flaming Fist, he sought out people of courage and honor to fill its ranks. You saved Daniel, lifted the curse, and killed an immortal. It's safe to say you'd have been recruited in an instant.
The Flaming Fist are nothing but mercenaries now. Immoral ones at that.
Maybe. I don't know what this Duke Ravengard is like, but I've seen the respect he inspires in the Flaming Fist. And that tells me all I need about him as a leader. I hope you can save Duke Ravengard. For the good of Baldur's Gate.
What about you?
When this land fell to the curse, I should have gone with it. Thaniel is the only reason I survived. It's only fair I stay here and wait for him to awaken.
And after Thaniel awakens?
I don't think there will be an after. The truth is, the Shadowfell broke something inside me. Something no healer can fix. I don't know how long I have. But, because of you, Thaniel is safe. Because of you, I could help him as he helped me. So, thank you, my friend. And know that I have no regrets.
Aelin! Isabel! My love! You were dead. I saw your body.
I'm here. And so are you. And my father, he can't hurt us any longer.
I dreamt every night that you'd come back to me. That somehow it was all a nightmare Dawn would undo.
I had no dreams at all. Nothing but darkness. And when I woke, my father said you were dead.
His soul was poisoned by the god of death. His sick devotion ruined him. But for all his sins, he brought you back to me. Are you all right?
I will be. And you?
In this moment, I want for nothing.
Ah, there you are. This is Aelin. Aelin, this is...
Oh, but we have met. This is the soldier that freed me most valiantly from the Shadowfell. They watched my boot crush the very brain of villainy, and fought well against your changed father.
May he rest in peace at last, now that he's dead. I have more to thank you for than I knew. And we have much to discuss. Perhaps we could join you in your camp later?
In this case, it doesn't actually matter if you tell her no. They still show up in your camp.
It's a little crowded already.
We'll make our visit brief. Cleric's honor.
Fine, I'll see you at camp.
Very good. We look forward to it.
Now you will leave us. We must take succor in one another's bodies and words.
Aelin! We'll see you later.
Begone! I must admire Isabel's fulsome beauty away from prying eyes.
Sorry.
It's... like your mind.
You did it. Ketheric Thorm is no more. The Shadow's grip is broken. Soon, the land shall heal.
Seems like that sort of feat might deserve a reward.
I would agree. But patience is needed. Nature moves at its own pace, and bestows its bounty when it sees fit. Give it time. A reward shall come to you when you need it most.
I don't want the gift of friendship. I want the gift of power.
There's more people up here. We'll talk to them in a little bit. I actually went to camp and changed my class first.
The stonework is sublime. It's almost a shame to leave this place.
Just so that we can get more power. Not that it's necessary.
Moonrise has been cleansed. Baldur's Gate is next.
Feel that calm. The stone's free at last.
Ha! I owe you an apology.
I kill Ketheric and suddenly we're friends, are we?
In a sense, yes. But that's because I didn't know what you were capable of. I saw you as a means to escape, nothing more. But when the sky lit up, when I followed it here, I knew you were behind it. I apologize for not seeing your true worth, and for being, quite frankly, rude in Last Light.
Rude is an understatement.
Tough, but fair. And that's precisely why I want you by my side in Baldur's Gate. The Iron Hand gnomes are going to save the city, and you can be part of it.
Gently pierce the veil of his mind, probing for his true intentions.
If you fail this check, he actually does not call the guards on you. Most of the time you fail to detect thoughts, people become hostile.
You see a column of fire that dominates the sky in a blazing inferno. Nothing more.
Details, now.
The plan is what it's always been. To bring the work and innovations of the Iron Hand gnomes to every corner of the realm. Problem is, Baldur's Gate is sick. Once the pinnacle of greatness, it's eating itself alive to save itself from starving. Find me in the city. And once you see what it's become, you'll know that I, and I alone, can stop it.
There you are. I was wondering where the devil you'd been.
I was taking a little holiday in the Mind Flayer colony downstairs.
That sounds slimy. Never mind your distasteful predilections. We need to talk about Wulbren.
Marcus, Wulbren wants nothing to do with you. He made that quite clear.
Oh, forget about that. Wulbren and the Iron Hand gnomes are planning something dreadful in the city. They have room powder, they have motive. We have to stop them.
Is this just because Woburn rejected you?
I'll not deny he wounded me. I cared for Wulbrin. Care for him, really. But he's acting like a true idiot. It isn't the first time, and I'm sure it won't be the last. But I won't let him hurt anyone. Or himself.
How can you be so sure?
Because they're a gaggle of vindictive crybabies with no sense of propriety. That is to say, they gabbed about their plans like geese, and I overheard them. Like a very devious goose.
Marcus, if you keep getting me involved, this is going to end with Woburn dead. With the Absolute Army on the march, the city has more important concerns than a bunch of gnomes with a grudge.
You're tired from your exertions. Who could blame you? Have a smoke, a wash, and a cup of tea. And let's regroup when you're more yourself. To saving the city. And my fool of a friend.
This Quartermaster Tali does not have any new gear for sale. We'll talk to this person up here, and then we'll take a camp. We went to camp because we want to change your class before talking to Alfira, so that we can get an improved Bardic inspiration for our character, similar to how we can cast Conjure Us or summon Find Scratch. While we could give it to an existing Bard, it doesn't actually fully replace... I'm clicking wheel like a bunch of times here. It doesn't actually fully replace Bardic inspiration. It just adds a new thing that gives plus 1d12 instead, and you can only use that once per long rest. This would still be his requirement to use up these Bardic inspirations. So I figure, you know what, we're just going to continue to beef up our main character, because that's the way I roll.
Such high hopes for you, Hellrider. Back in last light, I was racking my brains. How the hells do we get past the curse? And then a blinding light cuts through the darkness like a blade through butter. All thanks to you, I hear. Didn't think we'd make it without the old Hellrider to lead us. But you did a damn fine job.
I freed Zevlor down in the colony. I wouldn't be so quick to write him off as dead.
I would. He didn't have any fight left in him.
He went his own way. I don't think he could face me, or all of you.
The briefest hesitation as Saris wars with old loyalties and wins.
I looked up to him. We all did. But he let us down when we needed him most. There are less mouths to feed, but we still need supplies for the road. We'll scavenge what we can. Hopefully, we'll see you again in the city.
Tieflings scavenging stuff. What a surprise.
Volo has nothing new to say, so we might let him go. We might take the eye experiment and then just let him out of here.
What do you know about me? You spoke of my past, being chased by wolves. I told no one about that. Almost no one. But I certainly didn't share that with you.
There is nothing I can tell you that you do not already know yourself. They trained you well, trained you hard. Chiseled away any part of you that did not fit their plan. They made you forget.
I chose to do that. For the mission to protect Shaz.
Secrets. Yes, yes, that is an old song, girl. Your goddess cares more for her precious secrets than she does her devotees.
Get to the point.
When you freed me, you severed a bond between me and that dog, Thorm. A bond of pain. His, inflicted on me. When I laid eyes on you, I sensed a similar bond. You, tethered to two others. Someplace distant. Let me help you remember.
You feel Shadowheart's mind tug at the edges of your own. You know this sensation. She wants you to see whatever is about to be revealed.
Open your mind to that sensation.
Your mind joins with Shadowheart's. Something pulls at you both, bringing you elsewhere. Something sparks in your memory. Teachings about Selûnite rites of passage, about how they would abandon their children out in the wilds and force them to find their way home. It seems that one child never came back. She was taken.
What? Who was that man?
You already know. Did you not see yourself in him? Do you not recognize your own blood?
My father. That was him.
That is him. He lives still. And your mother, too.
No. It can't be. I'm an orphan.
And who told you that? Your adoptive family? You are not to blame. You were young, impressionable. They took you because they wanted to break and remake you. But you are a child no longer. You are a woman. One who knows what must be done.
My parents. I need to save them.
Doesn't this mean you're a Selûnite?
I don't know.
Your parents both followed the Moon Maiden. I could sense their faith, even in a brief glimpse of the past.
It is a tragedy that the Moon Maiden's right was perverted by Shah. Your future was stolen from you.
Shadowheart obviously will help.
Your parents are with your abductors. You will need to return to their lair. But be warned. You may have once thought of them as comrades, mentors, friends, even lovers. They will all be enemies now. You have been forewarned for what is to come, but not yet forearmed.
The Spear of Night. Careful, isn't that thing supposed to be able to kill you?
It no longer has the power to harm me, now that I've removed it from Shah's domain. Shah is quick to discard whatever she has no use for. I think you know that well enough, but I felt it call to me as I took flight. Whatever Shah calls her own, Selûne has equal claim to. They are one and the same. Their power is matched and mirrored. Take it. You will find it useful. What you do with it, that will be up to you. Same as before.
I'll need every advantage, it seems. Thank you.
A debt repaid. You returned my life unto me. Now go and claim your own.
It hurts.
Shah torments you still. What a spiteful creature she is. This will not stop until you take action. See that your parents' sacrifices are not in vain. Allow the Moon Maiden to guide you at last. There you are. I have awaited your arrival with great anticipation. Come closer.
What is it?
Feel my voice rattle your bones as I proclaim our victory. Moon Maiden Selûne, hear me. Ketheric Thorm, traitor, apostle of Myrkul, is dead at last. My mate, Most High, darling Isabel, is safe and well. Safe and well, and returned to my embrace. Blessings upon the slayer of the Wicked One.
Where's the silver light? The moon magic.
Listen to the subtle vibrations of the Moon Maiden thumping within your heart chambers, friend. She works her magic there. My darling Isabel says we will stay allied at your side. I am pleased to hear it.
There's still a great deal about you I don't know.
Pray, ask, and I will tell.
Are you really Selune's daughter?
Do I not radiate with my mother's brightness, her glory? There can be no doubt. I am of her silvered flesh, her celestial womb.
Would your mother be willing to aid us in the fight against the Dead Three?
Why, she already has. She has brought her sword to your side, Dame Aelin. So mighty are her wonders, her great wisdom. Together, we will set this fair land free of tyranny and murder.
How did you come to be trapped in the Shadowfell?
Ketheric Thorm. Father of my one and only love, enslaver of Dame Aelin. Ketheric Thorm never did trust me, even when he worshipped the Moon Maiden. He was threatened by my love for Isabel, by her love for me. When she died, curse the day, the hour, we each of us mourned bitterly. But Ketheric's pain could be touched by no aid, no boundary. He turned to wretched Shah, the Lady of Loss, for relief, and she whispered into his ear, poisoning his mind. He and his loathsome advisor, Balthazar, lured me into the Shadowfell, claimed they'd found someone in need of my aid. There, they trapped me in their infernal cage. I was killed, murdered, made dead over and over and over by justiciars of every make and kind. I was reborn, for it is my nature, and Ketheric fed upon my immortality all the while. But lo, the brute is dead, and we live! Begone, friend. I have a darling to adore.
You should join my camp permanently. We can fight the powers of evil together.
Our thoughts are as one, my friend. You must face the chosen of Bane and Baal. I will do my part to see them laid low.
How do you intend to spend your newfound freedom?
I am free from my bonds, but not my duty. The Dead Three are risen. The Dead Two remain. You must face them. I will help.
I can't believe it. I can't believe Aelin is here. And my father. I heard what happened. What he'd become. By killing him. You set him free. You set Aelin free. And me.
Aren't you at all sad about your father's fate?
I mourn the man I knew. He was wonderful. He raised me to serve Selûne as my mother, rest her soul, had wished. He was everything to me, all my life. When an emissary of Selûne came to our little town, we were elated. Dame Aelin, daughter of the Moon Maiden herself. Tell me, do you believe in love at first sight?
I certainly believe you were starstruck, at least.
You sound like my father. But it was more than that. This was no mere attraction. It was love. Lucky for me, she felt the same way. But my father was skeptical. Aelin is immortal, after all. I understand it's strange. There's an imbalance between us, certainly. But I suppose loving Aelin felt the same as loving myself. It was natural. Then... and this is where I still need answers. I died. I'm not sure how, why, but all was black. Next I knew, I was being jolted awake. I smelled musty air, I saw shadows. And then my father's face. So changed. So hideously warped.
he'd become the chosen of Myrkul.
I didn't know that then, but I could see the change in him. He told me we'd be together now, said that Aelin was dead. I couldn't speak, could only run. I found last light within the shadows, made a shelter there, prayed my father wouldn't find me. By the time Jaheira came, I'd pieced together just enough to know I'd been dead 100 years. That my father was the source of the horrors plaguing this land, my home. I couldn't tell her who I was. I had to protect them, and myself, no matter what.
So you lied about who you were?
I did. Who would trust the next of kin of Ketheric Thorm? But I have no more secrets. It's all out in the open now, and with my father dead, I have nothing to fear. Except for Aelin. She needs healing, rest. I'm grateful for your help, your friendship. I hope we won't intrude on your hospitality too long, but I'm grateful for a safe place to, well, just to be.
So, it's a quest to free Shadowheart's parents, is it? And here I was, worried I'd be the only one with a difficult family reunion waiting in the city.
At least Shadowheart is armed with the truth now. May its keen edge draw forth whatever vengeance she desires.
Shadowheart was no true child of Shar, merely a captive. She must have her vengeance.
Poor Shadowheart. She's been jerked around so much. I want to believe the gods keep this world balanced, but sometimes I wonder.
It does not surprise me that Shadowheart's faith was based on a lie. Deception is the sum of Shar's design.
You must be glad Ketheric is dead.
I take no pleasure in his passing. Whatever faults he may have had, Ketheric was a great leader.
You respected him?
Of course. He ruled Moonrise for centuries. That in itself deserves respect.
Any greatness he once had faded long ago. The man we killed was a bitter old fossil.
Life was crueler to him than death. It is no great wonder that he found his strength in Myrkul. I believe he was an honorable man, but the gods used him as their plaything. First, Shar and her sister, then the three behind the Absolute. I sympathize.
Do you think he could have been redeemed?
A meaningless question. If he had killed us and conquered the Sword Coast, I would envy him. As it is, he lost, and I pity him. But I will never forgive him for handing me to Orin. For that, I hope Myrkul hollows out his bones and lets them be dust.
He was responsible for his own actions.
As are we. And if the coming battle breaks us, I hope that someone will mourn our passing, despite the bodies we have left in our wake.
When did you first encounter the cult of the Absolute?
A true soul came to my city preaching a message of togetherness, accompanied by 2 novices. Menzoberranzan is not fertile ground for such messages. I killed them and hanged their bodies in my garden.
Yet they recruited you all the same.
Recruited? You could call it that. I intended to wage war on their god and the rest of its presumptive followers. Even as the flesh sagged and sloughed away from their eyeless skulls, their audacity infuriated me. I had to know where they came from. And whoever sent them was counting on my curiosity overcoming my caution.
You followed their path back to Moonrise.
Yes. All it took was a simple act of necromancy, and the corpses told me where I needed to strike. Moonrise Towers.
Given how we met, it's safe to say you failed.
It is never safe to point out my shortcomings, Iblith. But in this instance, you are correct. Moonrise is the site of my greatest failure. As it turned out, to my shame, I was defeated without even drawing my weapon. I came to Moonrise with a retinue of warriors and assassins, the best House Bainray had to offer. I expected a battle, but found a fully laden feast table and a welcome befitting a house matron. Ketheric expected us, expected me, and I fell for his flattery.
Pride can be a great weakness.
I recognize my flaws. Pride is certainly among them. Ketheric proposed an alliance between Moonrise and Menzoberranzan. I admit I was captivated by him. He invited me to the head of his table as his guest of honor. I was wary, of course. If I had been in his position, the food would have been poisoned. It was not the food I should have been wary of. It was the pale woman at the foot of the table. Orin the Red. We had barely begun to eat when she spoke for the first time. I only caught one word, my name. Then, quick as lightning, she climbed onto the table, a dagger in each hand, and skipped toward me, slicing the throats out of my men as she passed them.
She sounds delightful.
Few things frighten me. Orin is one of them. Ketheric held me still, his hand on my shoulder, the grip tight enough to crack the bone. When Orin stood before me, she touched the dagger to my eye, drawing out a tear of blood. "I want this one," she said. Ketheric nodded his permission, and I was taken below. You've seen the horrors of the colony. Orin kept me there for days. She forced me to watch as my men were processed. Some for food, others as thralls. And then she placed the tadpole in my eye, herself.
You'll have your revenge.
That is certain. You know the rest as well as I do. There were massacres before the Grove. Religious communities, mostly. Those who refused to convert. Then there was you, and now there is freedom. Soon there will be vengeance.
What do you make of Jaheira?
She is intelligent, strong, and capable as both a leader and a fighter. An impressive woman. It is a shame that she devotes all of her talents and experience to the futile cause of the Harpers. Their devotion to preserving balance is pathetic.
I agree. Better to strive for change rather than balance.
Precisely. Preservation and balance are an excuse for inaction and stagnation. There are organizations like the Harpers in every realm and every culture. I despise all of them. They fear change and would rather maintain mediocrity than face the risks and challenges that progress demands. I would rather break the world and build it anew than be satisfied with its imperfections.
I've been lied to. My whole life. And I was gullible enough to just believe it. My parents are alive, and I have to save them. I think a part of me always knew that. A part that Shar denied to me.
Dare I suggest, Shar has her reasons.
Not if you enjoy having your head attached to your neck. She stole my family from me. She stole my life. Whatever reason she has isn't good enough. We'd better press on for now, and hope we're ready when the moment comes. But before that, there's one thing I need to see to.
Should I be concerned?
You'll see for yourself soon enough. Just leave it with me.
We'll head back to the tower. Now that our character's a bard, we are eligible to get the special skill that she bestows upon the person who speaks to her. It doesn't look like you can do this to multiple bards in a party.
You're here. Good. That's good.
Are you alright?
Me? Oh, I'm fine. I'm just worried about the kids. Maul is still missing, and they haven't taken it too well. I've been trying to cheer them up. We're writing a song together. But I think they're just humoring me.
Writing a song is hardly going to distract them.
You know what? You're right. So let's give them a real show, shall we? You and me, battling it out, bard to bard. What do you say? It'd be like a private concert, just for them. They'd love it.
Sure, ready when you are.
Yes! I've missed this. If you can't keep up, don't take it to heart.
Succeeded my performance check. How did I do? I rolled a perfect 20, apparently. Well, I did have advantage. I have a modifier, maximum modifier of 40. I crushed that difficulty class. Even for this one stint of being a bard, I min-maxed it, while still maintaining being a paladin and a warlock.
That was a blast. Thank you. I hope we get to play again sometime soon.
As a result, even after we class out of being a bard, I will have this ability. Improved Bardic Inspiration. You can see that it didn't actually consume the Bardic Inspiration, so this is entirely a separate ability. Doesn't, whether as a bard or not, I would only have one use of this.
Althera's writing us a song. A stupid song won't bring Mole back. Tell her, won't you?
Say nothing.
Miss Althera wants to write us a song about you fighting Ketheric. But I miss Mole.
Say nothing.
What's taking?
Why, yes. Once Althera's done with this song, we will be looking for patrons. All coppers welcome, pal.
I found Mole's eye patch.
So? It's just Mole's eye patch. She's lost loads of them. That doesn't mean anything. Did you want something, or are you just here to stir?
Easy, kid. It's alright. I'm sure Mole will be waiting for you at Baldur's Gate.
Exactly. And we'll definitely feel her wrath if she thinks we ever doubted her.
There's nobody upstairs. Well, I guess the Harpers do have a little bit something to say. The Fists do not in the dungeon. The Fists have nothing new to say.
Long, dark below, but light above. Light at last.
This one's always been a little bit terse with her words, so I like that even in her temporary nature of being a sidekick, she has her own personality in her lines.
Without him.
It's time to fight back.
Need to find a way forward.
There'll be plenty of dead to mourn when this is done. But songs to sing too.
Ketheric's done, but that army's already on the move. This isn't done yet.
We'll talk to the last few people. That'll be it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching Tran Wins Baldur's Gate. I'll see you next time.
Helm's blessings upon you.
My mom lives in the lower city. If those freaks hurt her, I'll turn them inside out.
You'd make a fine fist.
Just tell me what you need.
You You're one of us.
Troops ready?
Ready enough?
Gods, I can't wait to be back home.
We need to get back to the city before those monsters do. Baldur's Gate is my home. I have to protect it.
We leave the heart of the Absolute alive. Thanks to you. You did well to defeat Ketheric. But Ketheric was only the first to fall. There are many more battles ahead, and they will not be so easily won. You will need allies.
I already have allies.
You have the makings of a leader. Your actions have already inspired those around you. Jaheira's wisdom will be an asset to you on the journey ahead. Her harpers, too. Halsin's strength and loyalty will bolster you in times of need. But if we are to succeed, we will need others.
Will there be anyone left when we arrive in the city?
Even if the buildings are demolished, there are always survivors. There are always those who will fight. Baldur's Gate may not know it yet, but its fate is bound to ours. Seek on its streets those whose purpose aligns with our own, and invite them to our cause. Together, we will put an end to the Absolute, the Chosen, all.
Safe return to the city. We'll see you there, Helmling.
Can't believe there are mind flayers targeting Baldur's Gate. We can't let them gain a foothold.
The road to Baldur's Gate is west of the town. If we hurry, we'll arrive before the Absolute's forces.
I could, but I can't. This is it. I must do as Mystra commands.
Go ahead. We stand no chance against such forces. We end this together.
One last gust of weave. One last gale to end them all.
No!
Beneath the smoking ashes of Moonrise Towers, the Elder Brain lies destroyed. But what of the tadpoles it commanded? Freed of the Absolute's control, they will complete their transformations. A plague of illithids will soon descend on the Sword Coast, enslaving all they do not infect. It is an ending of sorts, though not the one destiny had in store for you.